Browns choose Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders as Mason Graham shows zero interest in QB. Once the draft week ends, the spotlight shines on the first-rounders more than anyone else every year. But the tables have turned this year with the Sanders brothers in the center. Shiloh and Shedeur Sanders have received so much attention from the media that the other players have mostly gone unnoticed, except for the teams that drafted them, of course. Their father, Deion Sanders' name, had a lot to do with it if you listen to the insiders and analysts. But as Shedeur Sanders enters a packed QB room that already has another rookie competing for the position, he has his work cut out for him. The number 12 Sanders finds himself face-to-face with number 5 Dylan Gabriel. As the 94th overall pick, Dylan Gabriel does bring a certain flair to the QB room. He was the Big Ten MVP, as well as Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Add to this the Big Ten Quarterback of the Year as well. And that's just his 2024 accolades. Being the third-round pick for the Browns also comes in stark contrast with Sanders' fifth-round 144th pick. While both the rookies got an equal shot at their rookie minicamp debut, one can't help but notice that Gabriel went first. And suddenly, the insiders are also comparing stocks. According to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, Shedeur Sanders has an incredible luxury this year. And the reason for it is his draft fall. In conversation with Tom Pelissero, Rappaport said, "This year's number 1 overall pick, definitely not getting that treatment. It is Shedeur Sanders, in part because of the publicity that came to him in his epic draft fall. This is part of the reason why a guy who's talented enough to go in the first round falls to the 5th round. If he's not going to be your starter, do you want all of those cliques surrounding your quarterback who is buried on your depth chart? With Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and Gabriel in the mix, Shedeur is certainly buried in the depth chart. If he wants to be the QB1 someday, it will require a long, hard climb and possibly edging out Gabriel." Rappaport further added, "Whether or not Shedeur Sanders is going to be a franchise quarterback is almost certainly not going to be answered this year. And the way this is set up with him being really just a flyer, a lottery ticket for the Browns, they don't have to find anything out. He doesn't need to play. He doesn't need to be forced on the field." While Shedeur is called a lottery ticket for the Browns, Rappaport has a different vision for Dylan Gabriel. He added, "Dylan Gabriel may end up as the backup anyway. Shedeur Sanders has an unbelievable luxury of not having to do anything this rookie year, just fading into the background as much as possible and just learning. With Flacco and Pickett leading, one wonders if the Browns will even need backups. But if there are injuries, Gabriel might get a shot before Sanders." But Browns HC Kevin Stefanski has already cleared his stance on Dylan going first in the minicamp. "Yeah, I wouldn't look into anything. I think you'll see the whole weekend, going through the spring. I mean, we don't pay too close attention to who's in that first snap." Stefanski further added, "There's a lot of time between now and September, so we'll have a plan. But it's an all-encompassing evaluation. It's not something that it's just based on the practice reps. There's a lot that goes into it. So a lot could happen between May and September, and we'll just see how the new QBs perform during this time." And Shedeur is already putting in the work, being the last to leave the field. And with his legendary tag in the mix, there's a chance Gabriel might get snapped out of the spotlight, just like what's happening to Mason Graham. Mason Graham's spotlight taken by Shedeur Sanders. Remember when we talked about Shedeur getting attention, leaving other players in the dark? Being the sons of the iconic Coach Prime certainly comes with its perks and spotlights. And now, Mason Graham faces a similar situation. Graham, being a first-round pick, was totally justified. The Rose Bowl defensive MVP had already shown major skills in his 3-year college career. He recorded a massive total of 108 tackles in 39 games, started in 27, and even got 9 sacks. And at 296 pounds, this guy's built for pure durability. But with Shedeur's publicity, Graham's first-round glory has clearly taken a detour. But the DT is not worried about the spotlight. He's not even worried about Shedeur's fame. Mason Graham just wants to play football. According to Graham, if the media's with him, that's cool. If not, that's cool all the same. When asked about Shedeur getting all the attention, Graham coolly said, "That doesn't really matter to me. I come to play football. If the media's on me, then they're on me. If the media's not, then it's not. I'm just going to do my job at the end of the day." Graham clearly has his priorities sorted. He's just going to play the game. That's all there is to it. Even when asked about Shedeur, Graham said that it was a productive meeting. He was cool. Seems like a good dude, and it was all about ball. So I want to play with guys that are like-minded. Keep your eyes on the ball. Ever heard that phrase? That's exactly what Graham is doing. He's focused, dedicated to his craft, and ready to let his tackles speak for themselves. And isn't that exactly what being a DT is all about? Shedeur Sanders receives powerful message from sister Shelomi after he breaks silence on Brown's disrespectful antics. The NFL draft process is finally over, which had Shedeur Sanders as its main highlight. The number 144 pick has moved on to the real task, donning that orange and white and making those 31 NFL GMs regret passing on him. The task? It is undoubtedly monumental considering Shedeur has moved into the toughest QB room in the NFL with Gabriel already there. The challenge would become daunting, considering he has 3 QBs ahead of him and the Sanders family support system. You might think he won't have that at Cleveland, right? Well, let's just say the support is still coming from more than 1,300 miles away in Boulder. If you think that the draft snub was easy for Shedeur to handle, you are mistaken. Imagine anticipating to be the top draft pick for months, with even experts like Mel Kiper praising you. Then, on draft day, everything falls apart. This situation can jeopardize anyone's mental health. Fortunately for Shedeur, he had a strong support system from his family, who consistently backed him, both privately and publicly. Even quite recently, Coach Prime posted a stat sheet boosting Shedeur's case as he was ready to finally take the field for the Browns. The head coach wrote, "Did they forget?" In a bid to make the Browns remember the capability of his son. Coach Prime even commented and motivated recently on the Browns post where Shedeur was unpacking his locker and showing his kid on camera. Now, well, Shedeur's sister Shelomi has also come out with a statement supporting her brother as he made it onto the Browns field. Shelomi posted 3 pictures of Shedeur on her Instagram story, where he can be seen throwing the ball and working out. The images of Shedeur in that orange and white gear are striking, and Shelomi captioned her story, "Boss Man." This really highlights the level of support Shedeur is receiving from his family, doesn't it? It's all happening while he is possibly the 4th-string quarterback in the Browns' quarterback room, behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and former Oregon QB Gabriel. With this kind of support, we might see Shedeur at least surpass Gabriel for the QB3 position, although that would still be a challenge. In a recent media briefing, Kevin Stefanski addressed the situation regarding the quarterback room and clarified who is leading it. The Browns head coach didn't pick a clear winner and postponed the verdict to September. There's a lot of time between now and September, so we will have a plan. It's an all-encompassing evaluation, he said. It's not something that's just based on the practice reps. There's a lot that goes into it. But Shelomi? She doesn't care about all of this, right? She is just happy seeing her elder brother shine in the Pro Bowl. Shelomi, who plays basketball for Alabama A&M, had stints with Jackson State and Colorado. Her transfer to A&M raised some eyebrows, as Deion Sanders himself was opposed to the move initially. She may not fully understand Shedeur's struggles. However, she also had to prove herself to get increased time on the court. Now, coming back to Shedeur, well, there might be a fresh controversy brewing at the Browns regarding his jersey number. Shedeur Sanders finally opens up on the jersey controversy. We all know that a 5th-round pick doesn't get the type of hype and media coverage that Shedeur is getting. So, in a sense, he might be the first later-round pick in the history of the sport to have made more headlines than the first pick. And it's not even starting to come to an end. It all transpired when Boog Knight, a close confidant and media team member of the Sanders family, posted a now-deleted IG story about Shedeur's jersey number. There's no way Cleveland Browns should have gave number 2 to anyone else, especially to a WR who hasn't worn number 2 before in his career. But we knew that was coming, so we ain't flinching about it. It was expected. Take it, smile, then make it legendary. Keep going, wrote Boog Knight. But now, when you ask Shedeur about the jersey snub, well, the number 2 jersey in question was grabbed by DeAndre Carter, a veteran wide receiver on the team. But it wasn't as if the guy wanted that number 2 jersey since he has donned 7 different jerseys with 6 different teams. However, Shedeur wasn't at all concerned about all of this, as he proclaimed at last, "Man, give me number 99. I just want to play ball."